Hey everybody. Um, this is a video about my favorite engine, my favorite train. And there's a bit of a story behind it. Now, this layout started a few years ago after my father passed away. Shortly thereafter, I started building this layout in the basement of his house. And because of that, I decided to kind of theme the layout to him. And so it's kind of set up into two sections. This side of the layout is ultimately going to be themed for the town or the general area of upstate New York, south of Utica, where he grew up. And then the other side of the layout is themed for, well, will be themed for Cape Cod, where he was living when he retired. Uh, the wind turbines are kind of when you drive on to Cape Cod, one of the first things just before you hit the bridges, you see the big wind turbines. So they're there. But the layout is definitely a work in progress. I only get about a month or a weekend a month to come up here and work on it. So it's slowly but surely taking shape. But this train is based on the upstate New York portion and the story and the history up there. Um, Back in 1900, my maybe great grandfather started the latest feed and lumber company, and it was a grist mill and lumber mill that was water wheel powered, and it evolved. And back in the 50s or so is where the story behind this train comes into play. In the background, you can see this scratch building. That's going to be the latest lumber mill when I get finished with it. And there'll also be a grist mill along with it. But just south of Utica, where the lumber mill and grist mill were, the grist mill or the feed mill backed up onto a railroad siding for what's now the Suzy Q, New York, Susquehanna, and Western Rail Line. But back then it was the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Rail Line. And so it just fit in that put the lumber and feed mill on the train track, on the train layout with it. And we get to a story of probably when my father and his older brother Fred were probably in their teens. They were working at the feed mill and unloading a boxcar, and after they got done unloading the boxcar, they took a ride on the train in the cab of the engine. From there down to I think it was Ridgefield Junction, or basically the next stop down. And my cousin Fred, the son of my uncle Fred, was telling me the story, and he and his wife did some research and found that the most likely engine was a Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western heavy Mikado steam engine that my dad and my uncle took a ride on in the cab of the engine. And so I thought, well, that'd be a great idea for a train. And there weren't any DL&W or Lackawanna Mikados, but Lionel had just come out with the heavy Mikados. And so I finally said, oh, I went to Mr. Muffins Trains, who offers customization services, and had him put together this train for me. So I said I wanted to do a heavy Mikado in Lackawanna, and found a range of road numbers for it, and then said, okay, we got to add some train cars to it. So we RMT had just come out with these wood chip cars, and so we did. We got a few of these wood chip cars. We customized them, and we've got some skeleton cars in the background, and I'll bring them up in a little bit. Oh, I was going to run the engine, run the train, and this sucker's a little bit off the track. There we go. So, I got in touch with Mr. Muffin and told him generally what I wanted. They went back and forth. We discussed things, and they shipped the train and the cars off to Harry Hieke to do the customization. And then Harry worked with Ricky at Modern Train Decals to come up with the decals. So what we did was we took the logo of the latest feed and lumber company and put it on the wood chip cars, all the way down to, you can see the old-fashioned phone numbers. The Waterville, what is it, 39F4 and West Winfield 24 were the phone numbers for the lumber business. And then, as an additional note, I am a third-generation Manhattan College Jasper engineer. My father was a Manhattan engineer, and my grandfather, Fred, was a Manhattan engineer. And all three of us are also, or were, licensed professional engineers. So the road numbers on the wood chip cars are our respective PE license numbers. So we did that. And Terry went to work on it, and we talked back and forth. He discussed it. He did some really nice job of modifying the engine. He weathered it. He put the cab curtains on there. On the other side, there is, he put in the lines for the bell and whistle. And let's see, let's turn this on to get some light. He also put in a few extra figures in the cab of the engine to represent my father and my uncle. So let's bring the train up a little bit. He put in an enhanced coal load. He put in the boards. I don't know if you can see it, the boards for holding back the coal load. Put a little weathering on it. And these are the wood chip cars. And then we've got a couple of skeleton cars coming up that have the lumber loads. And then they also have the latest feed and lumber. That's all done with decals from Ricky. And We've got raw logs. And the project was about halfway done when I realized, really, we should have a caboose. So I went back to Mr. Muffin, said, okay, let's find a caboose. Sent it over to Harry. And I thought, well, you've got different names of trains and things like that. So I said, let's call this train the Sawdust Limited. And this is what we came up with. Now, all I did was tell Harry and Ricky that I wanted to name the train the Sawdust Limited. And Ricky came up with the idea of this buzzsaw graphic and put the name of the train with this old-fashioned, like, baseball-style logo. And so we did that as well. And Harry did a nice job of weathering and detailing the walkway on top. And then after I got it, I said, you know, it's got a little chimney, and it would be great if the caboose smoked. And so I was talking to Art from Art's Model Trains on YouTube about it, and he suggested I reach out to Gunrunner John on the OGR forums, and I did. And John really helped me out. He helped me pick out a radio board and smoke unit, and told me how it worked and how to wire it up and everything I needed to know so I could have command control smoke. And John has suggested doing a smaller or a different resistor than stock so that it didn't put out a lot of smoke. It would be typical of a caboose. And it worked okay, but the smoke was a little bit on the light side, so I switched it back to a regular resistor. And let's see, that should be on now. And here comes the smoke, kind of like what I did with the Union Carbide Lindy tank car. And as you can see, it also went a little bit overboard. So I think we'll have to go back in there and find a happy medium between this and what we had before. But that's the Sawdust Limited, my family train. I gotta thank Mr. Muffin, Harry, Ricky, Gunrunner John. You guys have been great, and this is an incredible train, and I love it. It's absolutely my favorite, and let's run it around the layout. There's Dad and Uncle Fred. You can definitely see the smoke in here. And you can see in the background, Ricky made up some more decals for me for some cars and trailers in the latest lumber scheme. I just realized I got the caboose on backwards. Yeah. My layout, my rules, I guess. And thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, the whole 9 yards. I'm up to 8 subscribers and really looking forward to breaking that 10 subscriber benchmark. Would be a real milestone for me. Thanks. Bye.